Guess what? It's time for part 3 of the orientation packet. We are taking it down apart, page by page. Check out video number 1, check out video number 2, because now I think we're nearing the end. So when you come in for your first visit, you're going to get the orientation packet. It's similar to the orientation video, but now you've got something in your hands that you can read. And if you don't feel like reading it all, watch this video right now, because I'm going page by page. So this next page, it says at the top, BFA, Brain First Always, the template for your life. Let today's health concern be the launching pad. You can fall off or you can take off. What do you want? What do you want to, how do you want to move forward? You can kind of stay where you are and muddle through, or you can really soar like an eagle. I know that's a little bit too dramatic here, but this is your choice. It's the launching pad, your first visit here at the office. You have the opportunity to do something more for yourself, because now you're getting more information. So 1, what is slowing you down? And I mentioned the 5 tolerating signs of brain impairment: fatigue, stiff joints and difficulty moving, digestive issues, high blood pressure, and brain fog, with anxiousness associated with that brain fog. Now, these are vague problems, and I hone in on them on purpose because they're so vague, you kind of ignore them. You just put up with them. They might come and go, or you just say, whatever, and just muddle through. Like I said, they're vague problems, but they clearly demonstrate brain impairment, and we don't want them to build up over time and get worse and worse and worse. Let's nip it in the bud. Fix things when they're simple, when they're easier to fix. So number 2, your react, reset mechanism is worn out. You've got to understand these signals are meaning something important about how your nervous system is handling the stress day in and day out. Your nervous system wants to be recognized and acknowledged. Give it your TLC. So don't wait for a diagnosis. A diagnosis is a distraction. A diagnosis is demoralizing. It's depressing, puts you in a panic, makes you upset with yourself. Take care of brain impairment today, not later when tissue damage becomes significant. So boost the brain. The brain makes the body, so you can make your life. We are going to learn how to redirect ineffective, inefficient brain patterns. And you learn everything, I should say your brain. Your brain learns everything you expose it to. So you've got to figure out what things you should kind of simmer down on, like that high stress lifestyle, and what are some of the things you should boost up more. So your nervous system learns from the better examples, the better exposures in your life. So 3, enter the 3 doorways of the BFA protocol, Brain First Always. And what are they? You've been watching enough of this video and my whole video series, Move Your Brain, Feed Your Brain, and Talk to Your Brain. So in your orientation packet is the BFA map, so you can learn how to the 3 doorways help you combat persistent interference, inflammation, and mitochondrial damage. So I use these different words. People resonate with other words more than others. Some people really understand inflammation. Some people, we need to go a step further and talk about mitochondrial damage, and persistent interference, the things that are happening every day as a routine, can wear that nervous system down. So we've got to boost that. We've got to be a friend to the nervous system. So that sounds kind of goofy, but it's the truth. How much more can your nervous system take? So next page of our orientation packet is the BFA map. On a healing journey, take your map. On any kind of journey, you have a map. Healing and health, of course. Brain first always. It's the low-tech, high-energy protocol. And this is the map that talks about how to move your brain, feed your brain, and talk to your brain. So it covers how chiropractic maintenance is important for those brain waves up here, and why exercise helps reinforce those toned muscles, because they protect your organs, and they are a major protector of the insulin, so you don't have that insulin resistance. So it helps you maintain insulin sensitivity with exercise and toned muscles, and of course rest. Those are the ways we move the brain. We feed the brain with a ketogenic diet. We avoid inflaming anti-nutrients such as grains, sugars, seed oils such as soy, canola, and legumes. We use standard process supplementation to fill the gaps where our food supply loses it, because the food supply is woefully inadequate now, and we've got to take care of that ourselves. And intermittent fasting, if it's appropriate for you, targeted detoxification to help strengthen your organs. So we all do that. We do that with Feed Your Brain. And then to talk to your brain, the Vagus Reset Star sessions, they're just a wonderful way to slow down your brain and take time out so you can actually give your brain a better, more improved pattern. And you can read about that on the website, createpurpose.com. And you've got to read my favorite brain training books, and I have a list of them in the office. So why do we move the brain, feed the brain, and talk to the brain? Well, for moving the brain, your spine works like a windmill powering the brain. Movement of the spine is important for brain health. Absolutely. We feed the brain. How? You've got to pick your fuel. You have to pick the cleanest fuel from your food and supplements, and you've got to avoid the dirty fuels. And I talk more about that in your Brain Sense telehealth sessions. And talking to your brain, you've got to decide what side of stubborn you're going to stand on. You're going to stand on the side that's been working for you, or the side that's not working for you. You've got to pick a side. And if you think something is no longer appropriate for you, move to the other side. You will find a lot of support there, even though it might seem kind of weird, wacko, scary. You don't have the same peer support, but that's the problem with maintaining our health. We don't want to be the blind leading the blind. We've got to pick the side that's going to work better for you. And that's not easy, because that affects your emotional health. That affects your place in your social group, and it is important. But having the strength to do the healthier things, you'll have a lot of better payout, much better, long-term dividends. Now on the next page of the orientation packet, it says why I don't treat pain. Why me as your chiropractor? Why I do not treat pain? Well, one, because I can't. It's a hard concept to explain sometimes, because everybody knows to call me up when they have a hurt back, when they shovel the snow and it didn't agree with them, or they lifted something in the wrong way, or they slept wrong. That's not why you come to the chiropractor. But if you insist, I'm going to teach you about moving your brain, feeding your brain, and talking to your brain. But I can't treat pain. Pain is a signal coming from the brain. The brain decides when to turn it on and when to turn it off. I can't do that. You have the healing power within you, so your pain is a messenger. And let me tell you, many disease processes go unnoticed because they elicit no pain. You can be pain-free and sick as a dog and not know it. So understand that pain is a message that the body's working on a healing response. We want to improve that healing response. We want to boost it. We want to be friends with it. We don't want to be the enemy. We want to work in sync with your body, not against the body. So inflammation, there's that word again, is the actual cause of tissue deformation and tissue damage. Inflammation has a lot of sources involved, a lot of causes. Like I said in a previous video, combination of cumulative stresses. There is no one thing. You've got to find the balance. So there are two types of inflammation. The acute inflammation that everybody understands, related to injury, and then there's chronic inflammation. So let's get back to the acute inflammation. Traumatic injury to the body, swelling, bruising, stiffness, while inflammatory cells clean out the injured area and lay down the rebuilding materials. And that, it hurts. It doesn't feel good when your body's healing, but we assume you're still in that bad stage. No, you're healing, and your body wants to slow you down so you can actually rest and finish that rebuilding process. It's going to last 3 to 12 weeks, depending on the nature of the injury. And as long as the body has adequate nutrients, good rest, and adjustments to reinforce proper mechanics. If you're healing, you don't want to heal the wrong way. You want to heal the right way. So when you're injured, you walk funny. When you're injured, you're bent over. Up in the upper shoulder, you're like this. You don't want to stay that way. Nope. So we're going to reinforce the proper movement patterns that you should continue with after the inflammation and pain has resolved itself. Chronic inflammation, on the other hand, that's where you have a condition that's lasting more than 3 months or even years. You've got stresses ongoing that cause it to be a chronic situation for more than 3 months or years. Old injuries that heal poorly due to stress or poor diet and nutrient deficiencies, they all participate in that process of poor healing. We don't want inadequate healing. We want proper healing. So we have to look at multiple factors to improve healing. Adjustments, nutrition, rest, and a proper emotional outlook. They all matter. Emotional stresses, here I go, I should have read ahead. They turn on cortisol and they add to the chemical cascade of inflammation. So talk about a vicious cycle. Things just keep happening over and over and over again because the body is responding to the stresses. A poor diet that keeps blood sugar high is going to keep the immune system in a crisis burnout state. So if you respond to the term burnout, now maybe you are understanding what I'm talking about. But when your body stays in a crisis state, healing can't happen. It's struggling. And also toxins and pathogens, when they're trapped in the body, they're going to create a chronic inflammatory response. Waste products in the blood from cellular metabolism will block oxygen and the oxygen flow to your organs and to your extremities. And this is due to an overwhelmed liver. If your liver is just overworked and underappreciated, you're going to have lack of oxygen in those tiniest capillaries. They can only have one blood cell at a time, and if it's restricted already because of an accumulation of waste products that can't get gone efficiently, that's painful. Lack of blood flow is painful. So the inflammation, lack of oxygen, it causes pain. So I don't treat it directly. I teach you how to be a better friend to your body. I adjust the spine so that we can maintain the mechanics of your spine so your nervous system can get that detoxification action kicked in gear to help you heal. We don't want to leave a stone unturned. Leave no stone unturned. Combination of cumulative stresses. Address them all. Otherwise, half of solution is still half a problem. Moving on to the next sheet. So what do I have here? The biggest problem chiropractors see today. So here's what's going on in the modern world. The biggest problem, it's not back pain and neck pain. The back pain and the neck pain may be the warning call, the canary in the coal mine, but there are other things we should be paying attention to. So you do have back pain and neck pain. Yes, we don't ignore that. But we have to look at what is really in play here. So a malfunctioning nervous system is a biggie. We want to get that corrected. But let's talk about food intolerance, heavy metals, chemicals, and just that brain immune burden, and also scars. Food intolerances, what am I talking about? The anti-nutrients that are very popular in our modern diet, they cause the inflammation and the free radicals to run wild, and you cannot heal properly. A lot of people have food intolerances. They have to figure that out. They've got to give their bodies real food and figure out where to find real food. It's a challenge, but it's not impossible. And I have a list of what these anti-nutrients are, so you can delve into that and add the right standard process supplementation to support your organs. And adjustments also help the nerves to the digestive tract, so we do all of these together. Heavy metals, yeah, they're everywhere, unfortunately, and that takes a little bit of work, but we have to consider our water supply. We have to consider what we're injecting in our arms for medical care, such as vaccines. And what about cigarettes and e-cigs? They are chemicals, pollution, and high fish intake because of the mercury. Other pollutions, other chemicals, we need to understand that food additives, pesticides, medications, they're problematic. Mold, cleaning products, plastics, bath and body products, who would have thought? Furniture, carpet, household items, and EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. They all put a burden on the body. And then let's not ignore the immune burden of an impaired brain. So you've got to get enough sleep, you've got to balance your responsibilities, and consider how limbic system dominance takes over, and you have the overwhelming response. Your body just goes bonkers, and the body responses to stress are actually inappropriate, too much, more than it should be. And that means your body is really sensitized and hypersensitive to your stresses now. And we've got to bring that back. We've got to put the brakes on that part of the nervous system, the limbic system. We have to teach it how to work appropriately and not go haywire and then assume everything is death, fight or flight. So we've got to balance the nervous system. And I teach you that. Scarring is an issue because it does interfere with nerve impulses, delivery of nerve energy, and you can deal with that with deep tissue massage and other ways to break up those adhesions. These are the things chiropractors see the most of, and it will give you the typical musculoskeletal pain issues that make you call up and say, I want to come in and I want to have chiropractic care. So we're just trying to read the body's language differently so we can actually give your body what it needs. We've got to take away what's doing the harm, and we've got to add back what really gives us that excitement of life, that vitality, that energy, and just getting everything accomplished that you want to do. You don't want to be stuck at home or just not meeting your potential, giving up your hobbies, just not missing out. Just missing out on the favorite things of your life. And that's where my passion is, because the details, I don't want to get lost in the details of your pain, when it began, this and that and the other thing. I want to get into the details of how you are living an exciting, vibrant life. So that is pretty much the end of the orientation packet. Yeah. I hope this video was helpful to you. Check out video number one and number 2 if you haven't watched it yet. Look at the other videos. Check out my Brain Sense telehealth infomercials on the blog createpurpose.com, because the next step is for you to get on that healing journey. So we uncover all these stones. We don't want to leave any stone unturned, because you got a lot of living to do. So looking forward to seeing you at your next appointment, and get some Brain Sense telehealth sessions scheduled, because that's going to add more nuclear power to your adjustments. Thanks for watching.